Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad-vyapta dehaya Dakshinamurtaye namaha. Gukarastvandhakaro vai Sthanivartakaha Andhakara nirodhitvad Gururityavidhiyate. Sadashiva samarambham Shankaracharya madhyamam Asmadacharya paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Let us chant the first verse also. Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam Karmasvanushthiyatam Teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitehe Kamye matistyajyatam Papaughav paridhuyatam bhavasukhe Dosho nusandhiyatam Atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagruhat Turnam vinirgamyatam Sangatsatsu vidiyatam bhagavataha Bhaktirdrudhadhiyatam Shantyadih parichiyatam druvataram Karmashu santyajyatam Sadvidvanupasrupyatam pratidinam Tatpaduka sevyatam Brahmaikaksharmartyatam Shrutishiraha Vakyam samakarnyatam Brahmaikaksharam artyatam. In the fourth line, we are told, Artyatam, Pratyatam, may you request for Brahma, the knowledge of Brahma, which is Ekaksharam. Brahman is Ekam, meaning one, non-dual. Aksharam, immutable. So that is the nature of truth or reality. Vedanta reveals that the reality of life, reality of myself, reality of the universe, reality of the Creator is one, non-dual, which is called Brahman. The word Brahman is generally used for Jagat Karanam, that which is the cause of the creation. That's how Upanishad describes Brahman. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivante yat prayanti abhisambhishanti. What is Brahman? That from which the whole universe is born, by which it is sustained, unto which it goes back and merges, becomes one with it. Like saying that, what is clay? Clay is that from which all the pots and pans are created, by which they are all sustained, and when they break, they go back into which that is called the clay, which is the cause of the world of pots and pans, and that is called the material cause, from which all the pots and pans are made. There is another cause also, that is called the pot maker. To create the pot, we require minimum two causes. One is, of course, the material from which the pot is made. Other is a maker. So you need maker as well as material. So this is our experience. That for any creation we require minimum two causes, maker and the material. Maker, like a pot maker, is always a conscious being who has the knowledge of what is to be created, who has the skill and ability to create. So the creator must have the knowledge, must have the power to create, and the one that from which he creates is called the material cause. And the distinction between these two causes is, for this part, the clay is the material cause, the cause from which it is made, and material cause always pervades the effect, meaning that when you buy the pot, you should necessarily buy the clay, otherwise pot cannot come to you. When you buy the pot, there is no need for you to also bring the pot maker along with that, because the maker is different from what is made. There are two entities, maker and material. Maker is different from the material. The material goes with the product and the maker is independent. This is the setup in our day-to-day life. And most of the traditions other than Vedanta accept this setup even with reference to the creation of the universe. They say that the creator or maker is one, called God, who created the universe. The God remains, just as the pot maker remains different from the pot, so also according to them, God or Ishvara remains separate from the universe. Ishvara, God, is someplace in heaven, and He administers the universe from wherever He is. So there's these two entities are accepted by everybody based on the usual experience that we have, where the maker and the material are different. However, Vedanta says that is not the case. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mattah paratanam nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, hey Arjuna, there is nothing other than me. I am the only cause, meaning that I am both the maker as well as the material. This is a unique vision that Vedanta provides us, that with reference to the creation, the maker and material are the material is not separate from the maker. Usually, the clay, which is the material, is different from the pot maker. However, in case of universe, the material from which universe is made is not separate from Ishvara, the maker. He is both the maker as well as material. You know what it means? It means that not only Ishvara makes or creates the universe, but then, just as the material, namely clay, manifests as the pots and pans, so also Ishvara manifests as this universe. So what we experience is nothing but the manifestation of Ishvara. But what we experience is all diverse, that our creation seems to consist of variety and diversity and duality and divisions, where everything is different from everything else. I am different and you are different, subject is different, object is different, Ishvara is different, sentient is different, insentient is different. We experience so many differences in our life. On the face of all this experience, Upanishad says, Vedanta says, no, what is Brahma Ekam? The truth is only one. Brahman is only one. Meaning that same Brahman or truth manifests as the universe, as the individual, as the creator. We think that there are three entities, the Jiva, the individual, Jagat, the universe, and Ishvara, the creator. Usually these three are thought to be different from each other. The individual, Jiva, Jagat, the universe, and Ishvara, the creator, they are different from each other. This is what our experience is it not so? What do we experience? You're different from me, I am different from you, and God, wherever He is, also is different. So this is our perception, and this is our conclusion, and our life is based on this conclusion that I am different and the world is different and God is different. Our life is based on this conclusion. Understand that we are as good as our conclusion or our perception. It is my perception, my conclusion, which in fact determines what my thinking is, how I act, how I respond. All of this is determined by my perception. Sometimes I see something different from me, but still in my conclusion it is not different. Such as when I am standing before a set of mirrors and I see a number of reflections in there. I do see many Swamis. And if those mirrors are concave mirrors, convex mirrors, etc., then I see Swamis with all kinds of funny shapes also. In one mirror the Swami looks like a straight, like a tree, and other it looks like a fat, chubby Swami. So even though I see many, but what is my conclusion? There is one. And therefore my response is of a different nature. How I respond to those reflections, they appear to be separate from me, but they are not separate from me. And therefore I laugh at the things. I enjoy that scene. I don't feel that I become so fat that I must start now dieting, become so tall that I should do something about my body, put on some weight or something. Our perception or conclusion is the most important thing. And what is the conclusion about who am I? Most important. What's the conclusion about the universe? Very important. What's the conclusion about Ishvara? Very important. If someone says, I don't believe in God, that also is a conclusion. I believe in God, that is also a conclusion. God is such and such, that is also a conclusion. Whatever be our conclusion, that determines, that becomes the basis of my life. And that is where Vedanta, that is what Vedanta addresses. Those conclusions are the basis of my life, and Vedanta says that those conclusions are derived from ignorance, and therefore that conclusion of duality is a source of all unhappiness or sorrow or sense of limitation. Not that there is limitation, but I think there is limitation. I think I am a limited being. I am limited, Swami. What do you mean you are? Are you not limited? Am I a limited being or not? Swami, you are not limited? Suppose I claim I am limitless. Swami, you know what's going on in my mind? If you are limitless, then can you see what's happening behind that wall? If you are limitless, then are you all pervasive? So, when we make a statement like that, people have all, oh, you are Ishvara, you can create the world, you are omniscient, omnipotent. So the wise person knows that I am Brahman. Does it mean that Swami, he can create the world? Various questions arise in our mind. Vedanta, in fact, is meant to address these questions. And when other questions have subsided, what about my father, what about my mother, what about all this stuff has gone from my mind. Meaning that now I've grown out of those things. As long as that is all my concern, so long these things are all sidetracked. The fundamental things about life are sidetracked. Oh, wow. Interesting. These basic things are sidetracked because my mind is preoccupied with all petty stuff. So that's why we talked about the growing of emotional maturity, where petty things remain petty, and when important things now become important. When now I am available to realize that the sense of limitation that I am feeling, from which I am trying to become free all the time, I am asserting my freedom, asserting my independence, I want to become free from imaginary bondage, not a real bondage. The bondage that I am feeling, the littleness I am feeling, the separatedness is an imagination, not a reality. The Vedantins tell us this story of this disciple and guru. It seems that once upon a time in some forest, in a hut, a guru and disciple used to live, and the Shishya does all this seva to the guru. And one of the tasks or chores that he had to perform was every morning, the guru had some cows, every morning this fellow had to take the cows to the forest for grazing, bring them back in the afternoon, tie them up to their posts, and then proceed with the lessons and remaining chores of the day. So one day when this disciple returns after the cows grazing is over and has brought the cows back, and then his routine was there were ropes with which he would tie the cow to the respective posts. Each cow was tied to its respective post with a rope. Today when he comes back, he finds that there are only 3 ropes. There are 4 cows, but ropes are 3. One rope is missing. So he goes to the guru. Sir, I find only 3 ropes. So how should I tie the 4th cow? You tie the cow every day as you tie. But where is the rope? You tie the cow as you tie every day. Take the cow to its post and make the gestures of tying the cow. So the disciple had a hard time to believe in the Guru. Something has happened to the old man. I said, what do you mean? How do you tie the cow without the rope or something? But fortunately he was an obedient disciple. Today's disciple, the old man doesn't understand what he's talking about. But this was an obedient one. So he did exactly what the Guru told him. And to his surprise, the cow was standing there, which this disciple could not believe. So whole night, every half an hour, he would wake up and see whether the cow is still there. Cow was there, obediently. Next morning, as usual, early morning, he got ready to take the cows, untied those cows. The fourth cow is not tired to begin with. So you twist the tail and the cow starts walking. This fellow twists the tail and this cow doesn't walk. Again goes to the Guru. What have you done? He thought that Guru has some kind of magic by which this cow has been, held here. So how come the cow does not move? So did you untie the cow? But I have not tied the cow. You untie the cow. So now this fellow goes and does the gestures of untying the cow. To his utter surprise now, when he twists the tail, the cow starts walking. Miracle. So the cow thought that I am tired. And now the cow thinks that I am untied. Formerly cow thought that I was bound. Now it thinks that I am liberated. This is the nature of liberation in our life. There is no real liberation because there is no real bondage. There is no real limitedness. There is no real separatedness. There is no real isolation. There is nothing which in fact causes all anxieties, insecurities and fears. There is no cause for any of those things. But what about my father? What about my son? Your father also is Brahman and your son also is Brahman and you also. What about Brahman, the limitless? What about that? So Vedanta says that bondage is not a way, it's a notion, born of ignorance. So that you are separate, I am separate also is a notion born of ignorance. The Ishvara is separate, all the sense of separatedness is not a reality, is a notion. That is why the teaching is necessary. Like the 10th man thinks that the 10th man is lost, is a notion. There is no way that the notion will go because he is convinced that the 10th man is lost. We are all convinced that we are bound, limited, separated, isolated, small, insecure, needy. This is our conclusion. And everything that I do in the life seems to only justify this conclusion. Nothing that happens in my life in any way ever creates even a doubt in me that my conclusions are wrong. That I am a limited being, nothing that happens to me, nothing that I do, whatever I do, and whatever I experience, nothing ever creates a change in this conclusion. Everything seems to only confound and justify this conclusion. Just as however much the 10th man, for Sergius 10th man, it will never occur to him that maybe my conclusion is wrong. He thinks that if I didn't find 10th man here, he's behind that hill. Not there, above the tree. Not there, behind the temple. He just goes on from one thing to the other. He needs to be told that no, your conclusion is wrong. That's the role of the teacher. Meaning that without teacher there is no way that we can gain this knowledge because it pertains to the self. Had it been knowledge of an object, then I can independently inquire and I can reinvent the wheel someday and then do things. But here I am very clear about who I am and there were some ways to point out to me that your thoughts about yourself are delusion or notions and not reality. Brahmaikakshara, so that what you are is Brahman. So that is what will be told. Ask for this knowledge. Then Shruti Shro Vakyam Samakaranitam. In the very famous passage in the Upanishad where Sri Yajnavalkya says to his wife, who is now disciple, the disciple wife, Atmavare Dashtavya, Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididhyasitavya, Maitreyi. Hey Maitreyi, Atma should be known. Why should I know Atma? Atmani Shrute, Mate, Vijñate, Sarvedam Vijñatam Bhavati. Hey Maitreyi, if you knew Atma, you know everything. So Vedanta provides a very beautiful solution, simple solution to all our efforts. One of my efforts, I want to know everything. So I go about all internet and YouTube and all kinds of, know everything. No way you can do that. I want to become everything. No way you can do that. I want to love everything. I want to enjoy everything. So Vedanta says, you know yourself, you have known everything. You love yourself, you love everything. You attain yourself, you attain everything. Can you believe that? How can it be that just by knowing myself that I know everything, that by attaining myself I have attained everything? Is it possible? As though? As though. Is it possible that I love myself and I love everything? I attain myself, I attain everything. I know myself, I know everything. Is it ever possible? Is it ever possible?
Yes.
Under what circumstances is it possible?
If you know the common thread.
Common thread.
If it's no, it's you.
By knowing myself, I know everything only when I am everything. By attaining the self, I attain everything provided I am everything. That's what Upanishad teaches. You are everything. You are the self of all. It is like this little, this is what we have taught here. So we have this small and little big thing, and a small little part is, that is another one, right? This part is one, this fellow is separate, here is another one. This is the third one. This little thing is told that you are everything. Then what? This one is this also, and that also, and that also. Is it ever possible? Is it ever possible that one little toy, one little part, or one container, one object is everything? That one, this one, other one. Only when the perception of this little thing changes. As long as you think that I am this name and form, so long certainly it is different from all other objects with the names and forms. But if there is a transformation in its perception, I am clay, suppose this thing says. This one knows that I am clay. And what is this? And what is that? Meaning that by knowing the self, this one has known everything. Is it not so? And similarly, I am the clay. Meaning what? I am the material. I am the consciousness. And that's what everything is. So, what I am saying is, this is how Vedanta teaches how all the differences are apparent. The waves are many, but just as water is one, as long as the wave thinks that I am confined to one name and form, so long it feels different from all other waves, but a wave recognizes I am water, then it is nothing but the self of all the waves. So this is how the teacher unfolds Shrutisharo Vakyam Samakarnatam. We very well listen to the unfoldment of the Vakya. Vakya means statement. When here the word Vakya is used, what is meant is Mahavakya, meaning major statement. Maha means major, or a great sentence. In fact, it is a very short sentence. What is sentence? Tattvamasi, that thou art. Just made up of 3 words. Tat, tvam, asi. Tat means that, tvam means you, asi means are, that thou art. What is that? See, that is the pronoun. Thou also is a pronoun. The pronoun that is always used for something which is remote. that building. We don't say that part, we say this part. So what is evident is called this, what is remote would be called that. There is something remote in my life, something that I am always searching for and I am never able to find it. The 10th man is searching for the 10th man. What he is searching for, he is never able to find it because it is that 10th man. He thinks that it is that 10th man who is a lost 10th man who is searching for. You follow? You are the 10th man. Which 10th man? The one that you are searching for. Which is, in his own mind, he thinks that 10th man is lost, therefore in his own mind, 10th man is away, someplace there, remote, paroksha, indirect, away. So one that you think is different from you, away from you, is yourself. This is the simple Mahavakya. This is to remove just the notion. Another little story that is being told by Vedanta to reveal this or to explain this is the story of a lamb, which also I am sure you must have heard. Once upon a time in a forest, there is this cowherd man. This fellow who had a herd of lambs. So he was once going, and at that time in the forest, one lioness gave birth to a little lion cub, and she died there and then. And this man saw. He took pity for that little cub and kept it with him and then raised it. Little lion was raised in the herd of lambs. So what does this fellow think? I am one of those, I am a lamb. Now once upon a time, when this herd of lamb is moving, passing by from one place to the other, a real lion came. These fellows have very sharp sense of smell, and they realized lion is coming. They all started running for their life. So lion sees all the lambs running away, which is understandable. But he finds a little lion cub also running away. So lion is surprised, why is this fellow running away? So he runs and catches hold of that cub. And this fellow is shivering, please let me go. Who are you? I'm a lamb. Yeah, it made a noise like a lamb. Let me go. Don't kill me. So then this lion takes his lamb, come with me. Goes to a pool of water. Look inside. Who is in there? What do you see? I see myself. Look at me. Who do you see? I see you. Who am I? You are a lion. What do you see inside? What do you see? A lion. Who are you? I am also a lion. You are a lion. As a lion roared, the lamb also roared. Got transformed from a lamb to a lion. A lamb is told you're a lion. Is a lamb being told that you're a lion? If a lamb is told you're a lion, does it become a lion? That would be nice, no? A lion that thinks I'm a lamb is told, his notion that I'm a lamb goes away. All that is necessary is to remove the notions in our life that I'm a small, inadequate, helpless, hapless creature, one among millions, always threatened by the world, having to always defend myself, protect myself. Needy, inadequate being, I have to become big, I have to become this, so is told that you are a lion. You are not what you take yourself to be. But I was born 25 years ago, 50 years ago. Who was born? What was born? I was born. Every year I celebrate a birthday. What was born? Your body was born. Yeah, but I know so little. You know so little. Your mind knows so little. Like this, the teacher then gives what we call the Viveka, discrimination between the Atma and Anatma, that in fact you have lumped the two things together, like a actor who is putting on the costume of beggar and thinks that I'm a beggar. Actually, the billionaire thinks that, now how will you make him a rich man? By advising him to invest some money in somewhere? How does he become a rich man? You are a rich man. Because that I'm a beggar is a notion born of identification with what he is not, and so also notions born within ourselves are thus, one by one, they are removed. So what the teacher does is, he removes ignorance in the form of various notions centered upon the self. Shrutishuro vakyam samakaranitam. This purpose of Shravanam, listening to the teacher. So Shravanam is considered the primary means for gaining knowledge. The most important is Shravanam. It just doesn't mean listening. But when you listen, you don't just listen. If your attention is to what the teacher is saying, your mind is focused upon what the teacher is saying, and you have the trust in the truthfulness of the words of the teacher that he knows what he's talking about, as we discussed in the morning, the disciple goes and surrenders to the teacher, meaning that he has accomplished Shraddha or the trust in the teacher. There is thus a connection between the teacher and the disciple, which is the Shraddha, which opens a channel for the disciple to receive the knowledge from the teacher. When that is there, then the disciple understands what the teacher is unfolding. So what happens is, in fact, the disciple's mind is taken by the teacher, because now they have become one. The disciple is tuned up to the teacher. The Shraddha enables him to tune up with the teacher. And as the teacher unfolds, same unfoldment goes on in the mind of the disciple also. This is called vichara, or a deliberation upon the statement of the Upanishad. Samas, may you very well listen to the, meaning that may you also carry out vichara, a deliberation upon the meaning of this sentence. You are Brahman, what does it mean? I am Brahman, what does it mean? So, that's a very profound statement, and then teacher just doesn't say you are Brahman, it means what is you, what is R, what is Brahman. A long number of discourses for a number of years are given to unfold that statement, in which then the disciple sees the fact that I am not what I take myself to be. I was born, the body was born. Lord Krishna says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe. Thus you knew when you were a child, then you are youthful, you are middle-aged, you are old. When all the states of the body change, there is someone that does not change. The witness does not change. You are not the body, you are the witness of the body, possessor of the body. You are not the mind, you are the witness of the mind. It's called Atma Anatma Viveka, a discrimination or separation between the self and the non-self, because it is lumping together, like the actor and the costume are lumped together in that notion that I am a beggar. In our case also, the costume, this body, mind, sense complex and I are lumped together. I am judging myself based on the body or mind, whether I am completely independent of them. Thus, Shruti Shiro Vakyam Samakana. Shruti Shira. Shira means head. Shruti means Vedas. Head of the Veda is Upanishad. Vakya means Mahavakya. You very well listen to the unfoldment of the Mahavakya. What is the Mahavakya? You are Brahman. Swami, you are Brahman, then what are we? And your teacher keeps saying you are a Brahman, you are a Brahman. Does it not make you proud? Oh, I am Brahman. That makes you egoistic, will it not? In fact, ego is when you think I am small. When you know that you are limitless, that is called that ego is completely merged And so it is to remove the ego, not to create the ego, that this is the purpose that the knowledge serves. So this is Shravanam, listening to the unfoldment of this major statement, you are Brahman or I am Brahman, on the part of the teacher. And as the teacher unfolds, the disciple sees the meaning as to what is the true nature and the meaning of I. Not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. I am the consciousness and the witness of all of this. And the consciousness is the self of all, and that is the substrate of the universe. That is Brahman. I am Brahman. This fact the disciple sees as a result of the unfoldment on the part of the teacher. So Atma Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididhyasitavya. It is said that Atma must be listened to, Shravanam. Second stage is Mananam. You must deliberate upon what you listen to remove all the doubts. They say that there are three obstacles to taking place with knowledge. One obstacle is called the avaranam, ignorance. Second obstacle is the doubt or samshaya. And third obstacle is the habitual error or the error arising from identification, upadhi. By Shravanam, our ignorance goes. Then lots of doubts arise. What is the doubt? You say that I am Ishvara. When I am listening to the teacher, everything seems to be okay, but later on a lot of questions arise in my mind. How can I be Brahman? Brahman is limitless, omniscient, omnipotent, the cause of creation. How can I be that? So our experiences or conclusions of duality raise lots of doubts based on what the teacher has said. Those doubts must be removed by the reasoning called Mananam. So that is the next stage, Mananam, and we go to the third verse. And third is Nididhyasanam. So third verse now describes the process of Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So on the page 8, let us read the verse number 3. Vakyarthascha vicharyatam shrutishilah pakshas samashriyatam dustarkat suviramyatam shrutimataha tarko nusandhiyatam brahmaivasmi vibhavyatam aharaha garvah parityajyatam dehe hammatirujyatam buddhajanaihi vadah parityajyatam. So first we are told that may you very well listen to the unfoldment of the teacher. That's called Shravanam. And as we said, Shravanam is the most important aspect of gaining the knowledge. Because it is not, even though it is called Shravanam, listening, it is not merely listening. What happens in the mind of the disciple is what we call a vichara, or a deliberation upon the meaning of this statement of the Upanishad. What is meant by Aham Brahmasmi? What is meant by you are Brahman? What the whole Upanishad and Vedanta teaches is one simple thing, you are Brahman. For years together, by the way, from day 1 to the day 1000, when we were studying with our Swamiji, on the third day Swamiji told us, I am telling you today, you are Brahman. At the end of the course, I will tell you, you are Brahman. That's all I have to tell you. Then why do you spend 2.5 years, 3 years, 3.5 years saying only one sentence? So, you keep on listening to it, you don't listen. You think, you deliberate. So, in this process of listening, as I said, if the listener is tuned up to the speaker or the teacher with the Shraddha and the Bhakti or the faith and devotion, then same thought, same pattern of thought goes on in the mind of the student. Therefore, a vichara or a deliberation takes. What is the meaning of I am Brahman? What's the meaning that everything is Brahman? What's the meaning of these statements? And it becomes clear in course of time. That is Shravanam. Now I understand what the Upanishad means that I am Brahman. I see that fact. That everything is Brahman. I am Brahman. But then what happens is, this is when I am in the impact of the teaching. When again I come back to impact of the world, where whole of my life has gone into the duality, again the mind starts raising various doubts. How can I be Brahman? Brahman is Jagat Karanam, cause of creation, and is maker. He is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, and my knowledge is limited, my power is limited. How can I be Brahman? How can I be? Can you be Brahman? Can you create the world? Are you omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent? Are you Jagat Karanam, cause of creation? Are you? How can I be? So, these doubts are created based on our conclusions of duality. And all those doubts have to be resolved in case they remain in our mind. In fact, during the Shravanam also, a lot of reasoning is provided and no doubt should remain, but still they may remain. Other thing is that we get exposed to many other teachers who say different things. Right? That also, and they say things so convincingly. I think, yeah, that also is right. That also is right. That also is right. There are people who say everybody is right. So there are people who go to listen to everybody, whoever comes. Yeah, he is right. That also right. Oh, said very well. Oh, profound thing. Very beautiful. Wonderful. And so everything is right. This is how the mind is sometimes, and therefore is total confusion. Then this confusion is product of knowledge, meaning that it doesn't allow the knowledge to settle down, doesn't allow me to get the benefit of the knowledge. And so, whatever doubts are there, how can I be Brahman? How can I be Ishvara? Ishvara is omniscient, omnipotent. I am little knowledge, limited in every way. Ishvara is limitless in every way. How can the two be one? Same way that a wave, as long as it is thinks that I am wave, so long it is different from all other waves. It is a wave among countless other waves and always concerned that this fellow is coming from behind, is going to thrash me and he is going to destroy me. So this poor wave has to always protect itself from other waves. And so constant fighting and struggling is going on. But when it is taught that, hey, you are not wave is a name and form, what you are is water. And so when you identify with one name and form, then you think that you are a wave, in reality you are water, because the name and form is incidental. So it's something about you that is incidental, something that is inherent. For this pot also, if it breaks, this will never break, but this is not real clay. Anybody but suppose it is clay. I think this is plastic, isn't it? It is clay? It's a ceramic? Okay. It is clay. If this falls from my hand, this may or may not, but it may break down. Right now it is called a pot. When it falls and breaks down, it is no more called a pot, is it not? Then what do you call it? Shards. And then you further pound it, suppose, with a hammer. What do you call it? Powder. So these objects, its name and forms are subject to changing depending upon the situation. But when it is pot, then also the fact that it is clay is there. When it becomes pieces, then also that it is clay, that does not go. When it becomes pebbles, then also the fact that it is clay, that does not go. When it is powder, then also the fact that it is clay, that does not go. Meaning that about this object, there is something incidental and something inherent. What is inherent? That it is clay is inherent. There is a changeless aspect of this. And that it has given name and form. That it is pot, it is shards, it is pebbles, it is powder. The names and forms are subject to change, then incidental. But all these names and forms which come and go do not in any way affect the essential nature which is clay. Regardless of what the name or form is, that it is clay, that it never changes. So also about me and about you, is there something inherent which never changes? Is there something about us that never changes? I know everything about me changes, the body changes, the age changes, the mind keeps on changing. Swamiji, my mind runs around everywhere. The thoughts keep on changing, emotions also change. Everything changes. Now I'm a waker, sometimes I'm a dreamer, then I'm a sleeper. That also changes. Sometimes I'm a child, I'm young, I'm old. Balyadi swabi jagrada syuda sarva swastha swabi. So balya, the child and the youth and the old age. Jagrada, waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. Or happy, unhappy, doer, enjoyer. Constant changes are going on about me. Is it not so? When all the changes are going on, is there something about me that does not change? I am happy. I am unhappy. I am glad. I am successful. I am not successful. I am a man. I am a child. I am young. I am old. All these things are changing. Is it not so? But in all these changes, do you find something that does not change? I am. I am. I am. Is it not so? Who is happy? The I am is happy. I am unhappy. I am. Meaning that all the changes, at one level there is constant change in me, there is something coming and going incidental about me. What is it? That's a name and form. Who is happy? The mind is happy. Unhappy? The mind is unhappy. Who is young? The body is young. Who is old? The body is old. Meaning that there are constant changes taking place in this upadhi or this costume. When all changes take place, there is something that does not change. The I am, the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, all of those change, but I am, that ever remain the same. So what is the truth? In Vedanta, that is called truth which does not change. That which can never be negated. That which is inherent. Meaning that about each one of us, there is something inherent and something incidental. Like about the pot, that it is clay is inherent. That it is a form and name is incidental. What is incidental is changing, subject to coming and going, which is immaterial what it is. In Vedanta you call it in no consequence. What is of consequence is that it is clay. What does not change is called satyam, inherent. What comes and goes is called costume or mithya. Meaning that this pot is a union of satyam and mithya. The clay and name and form. And so I'm a union when I'm happy. I am is satyam. Happy, incidental mithya. Happy, unhappy, good, bad, indifferent, right, wrong, all subject to coming and going. That doesn't affect the I am. And therefore, if I were to really evaluate myself, how should I evaluate about that which does not change, which is inherent? Who am I? I am. How do you know that you are? Because I am, I know. How do you know that you are? Do you know that you are? Are you there? Suppose there was pitch darkness in this room and I say, hey, are you there? Yes, Swami, I am here. How do you know you are there? Well, let me see. Am I there or not? Do you have to scratch yourself? Swami, I can't see, I don't know whether I am there or not. I can't see anything, I don't know if I am there or not. You need to see something for you to know that you are there. The seeing comes only when you are there to begin with. And therefore, that I am does not require you to see, hear, think. It is what we call self-revealing fact about me. Where I am, that I have to see in the GPS. Where am I? How I am, I may have to go to a psychiatrist or ask him how I am. But that I am, I don't need to ask anybody. It's an independent fact. Sometimes it happens, like this. Man was very sick, and then doctor declared that he's dead. And so they tied him up in India. You know what they do like that? It's taken to the cremation ground. In between, the fellow woke up. He said, "Yeah, I'm alive." He said, "Shut up. Doctor said that you are not alive, you are dead." Hopefully for that one thing you don't have to ask your wife. Everything he needs consent from his wife. But that I am, I don't think he needs any consent from anybody, does he? It's a very profound thing. That I am does not require any consent. I don't. It is not because you are there that I am there. It is not that the body is there, therefore I am there. I am there, therefore everything else is there. That I am is an independent, self-shining, self-sufficient fact. You tell me, how big is I am? What is the dimension of, what is the shape of I am? Swami 5 feet 8 inches. What's the weight of I am? 150 pounds. What's the measurement? Whatever. What's the measurement of I am? What's the weight of I am? I am, how heavy it is? How tall is it? How fat is it? What is the gender? What's the religion? What's the race of I am? What's the creed? Race, religion, creed, gender. What is the gender of I am? Is it male or female or whatever? Is it? Is it human? Is it animal? A mosquito also says I am mosquito. And dog also says I am a dog. The I am is common to all beings, is it not so? Then mosquito, dog, all of that comes later. They are all only appendices, all that added, they are all incidental. Can you imagine that? What is the truth about me, which is I am, is also the truth about a mosquito, that also is I am. If that mosquito doesn't add mosquito-ness into that, I add the humanness into, then I feel I am little. So what I am doing right now is by mixing up or lumping this body, mind, etc., I am reducing I am to an insignificant entity, whereas I am is dimensionless, I am has no dimension. Does it have any shape? Does it have form? Every living being of any form says I am. Every gender says I am. Every race says I am. Is it not so? Thank God that it is not restricted to any gender or race or creed or religion or whatever. I am. That's a universal truth about you and I. This table doesn't say anything. Suppose it could say, I am. That I am connects everything. That is inherent truth or inherent nature of what there is. And all there is I am. How do you know? It is self-shining. You don't need to make an effort to know that I am. What is form? It is no form, no boundary. It is boundless. I am. Self-existent, self-shining, boundless, limitless I am. So thus if we say, what is my essential nature? What is about me that does not change? That I am happy comes and goes, and happy comes and goes. I am a man, woman, tall, short. That all will go because next embodiment, who knows? That's what they say. I am a man, man. All these fellows will become men. All men will become women in next birth. Because right now they're only thinking of women. All women will become men. But they're thinking only man. That's what they say, So who knows? That's all incidental now. And then when you have pet and all the time your pet sleeps with you and all, maybe next year you'll become that. That's what you're thinking about. Whatever your last thought is what you become. Oh, my pet, my pet, my pet. That's what happened. There was a sage. Who was that? What was his name? Sage Bharata. And he became fond of a little cub of deer. And he became so fond of it, so attached to it, so concerned about it, that in spite of all his penance and all these things at the time of death, he was only thinking of that little cub, and that's what he became. Meaning that we can be in any form. But I am can take any form. It doesn't take any form because unconnected. Like Lord Krishna says, like a thread in which all the pearls are strung, all names and forms are strung in one thread. I am. That's the truth of you and I and of all living beings, of everything that is in the universe. In this manner, when we give a thought to who I am, I realize that all my notions are born of identification, superimposition. Vakyarthasya vicharyatam Shrutishara pakshasramasriyatam. People say, prove to me, Swamiji, show me how can that there is non-duality. Prove to me. Prove to me that there is God. Can you produce God before me? Is there God? Somebody asks him. These poor religious people try to prove God. God is kind and merciful, this and those signs, they just dismiss everything. What sort of merciful God? You see all this starvation of the world. What merciful God you're talking about? Meaning anything you talk about God, that can be dismissed. Can you try to prove God? Don't make that effort, by the way. You can never prove. If somebody asks to prove me that there is God, you just ask him, you disprove that there is, you prove that there is no God. You prove that, which also he cannot. I'll prove that there is no God. All right, prove. But there is no creation. It's evolution. There are signs I see in Pennsylvania, in all these Christian states, I think. There is one where it says Darwin thing, this thing, little bigger. How Darwin thing has shown, little one becomes bigger. They're crossed there. Not that God created. This evolution is wrong theory. God created. Created man directly, not that he evolved like this. God creates. You don't evolve. Anyway, and so all this kind of stuff is going on. But, as I said, we do not try to prove anything. As far as Vedantin is concerned, what is Pramanam? The Shruti or Upanishad is a Pramanam. Vedanta nama Upanishad Pramanam. Upanishad says God is, so he is. God is he. I would not say even he or whatever. You tell me that he is not. You show me how it is not. Meaning that the Upanishad says the truth is one and non-dual. You cannot arrive at non-duality by, how can there be non-duality when I only experience duality? Meaning that really we cannot logically arrive at non-duality by accepting duality. So Shruti Shara, where do you begin? Vedanta doesn't prove that you are Brahman. Vedanta doesn't prove there is non-duality. Vedanta proves that the duality is false. You follow? Shruti Shara, we begin from what Upanishad says. Upanishad says that you are Brahman. Upanishad says that you are limitless. No, Swamiji, I don't feel limitless, I feel limited. You prove to me how you are limited. I was born 55 years ago. That was your body. Yeah, but my knowledge, I'm just insignificant, my knowledge, that's your mind. Can you prove that you are limited? Please try to prove to me that you are a limited, helpless creature. you think about it and come in the evening with the proof. Swamiji, I have proven that I am limited. Can you prove that you are different from me? I will not go into all of this because, we don't want to, because these arguments can go on and on, but nothing can be proved. Duality cannot be proven, limited, nothing can be proven. All my ideas are simply taken for granted. What I believe about myself is simply belief and notion which has no logical basis at all. Oh Swamiji, I am a woman. Oh, who is you? What is you? Which you is woman? The body is woman. Who says you? Whose body? My body. That's your body. You are possessor of body. So a woman belongs to the body. You are possessor of body. Different from the body. Is it not so? Who is that? That is Brahman. So, meaning that we begin from what Upanishad says, that all there is non-dual, and then we show how duality is false. We don't begin from duality to arrive at non-duality, but we begin with non-duality, which is what Upanishad says. Begin with I am limitless. I don't want to prove that I am limitless. I am limitless. You prove that you are limited. You follow what I am saying? Swami, how can I be limitless? I experience limitedness in every way. I say you are limitless. You prove that you are limited. When you prove but I am limited, but that is your body is limited, your mind is limited, intellect is limited, your costume is limited. One who says I am limited, who is he? Because you look at something other than you and say I am limited. What is limited is the non-self. The self, which is a witness of all limitations, is limitless. So this is how Vedanta, the teaching approaches. Vedanta doesn't prove that there is non-duality. Teacher doesn't prove that you are Brahman. Teacher says you are Brahman and proves that everything else is wrong. Teacher says that there is non-duality, all duality is false. That's how the teacher shows how duality is mithya. Limitedness is mithya. It doesn't belong to the I. Shrutishara Pakshastama. Then this is the way the Upanishad or the teaching of Vedanta proceeds. Begins from where the Upanishad says and shows how all other things have no justification. That you are limitless. You try to prove anything other than that about you. That I say that there is one non-dual truth. You try to prove anything else. Nobody can prove anything else. No, I experience duality. What do you experience? I experience that you are separate from me. Which you is separate from me? That body is separate from this body. But you, I equate you with the body and I equate myself with the body and then say that I am separate from you. But who says you are a body? You are the consciousness. I am the consciousness. One consciousness cannot be separate from the other because there cannot be separatedness in consciousness that is without any name and form and attributes. So Shruti Sharad, that is how the process of mananam, meaning remove all the doubts. This is how, with the help of what the Upanishad says, all the doubts can be resolved. This is mananam. Dustarkat, for that you stay away from all distorted reasoning. Shruti matas tarko anusandhiyatam. May you resort to the tarka or the reasoning which is accepted by or which is in keeping with the statement of the Upanishad. So first two lines of this verse 3 describe what we call mananam, as to how any kind of doubt that arises in my mind can be resolved by proper reasoning based on what the Upanishad teaches. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।